Okay, in this video I'm not going to tell you how all the dating world is fucked up, how everything is not the way that it's supposed to be, and how the girls are picky and trying to reinforce your red pill or black pill beliefs. In this video I'm going to actually tell you the story of how I believe the dating apps could be actually beneficial if you are introverted man, if you're someone who struggles to put himself out there in the dating world. And actually they could be something, I would say therapeutical is a big word, but it actually can help you to try to go on dating apps. At least it helped me, and I would like to share with you my story so that it could help you as well. I've always struggled with girls, okay? Since I was a kid, I struggled with girls. I remember that when I was 7 in elementary school, there was this little girl that I liked a lot. I was 7 at the time, it was elementary school, okay? Be careful to my words. Was 7, there was this girl that I liked a lot. So I remember that I grabbed a piece of paper, I grabbed a pen, and I wrote on it Julia, her name was Julia. I wrote, Julia, I love you, and I give to her this piece of paper. She looked at the piece of paper, she looked at me, and she made like a disgusted face. She was like, ugh, that's gross. I don't want this little ginger kid to like me. And I remember that it was very painful for me. It was very embarrassing, and from that time on, rejection was something that I felt really strongly. Okay, rejection was always I was always very sensitive to rejection, and I believe that this was the one episode that caused that create my rejection sensitivity. Also, it got worse when I was like 12 or 13 because I was pretty overweight, I was pretty fat, and all the girls were not really into me. They were looking at me, they were kind of disgusted, and I was also bullied from other kids in my class, so my social status, my social rank was very, very low, and the attention for the lady was very, very low. And even though in later in the years in my teens, when I was 14, 15, 16, something like that, I've lost a lot of weight. I become very, very fit. Okay, I was incredibly fit because I was doing judo, I was training my ass off, and I've had a very decent physique, honestly. I was pretty good looking, but I stayed insecure. I was very unconfident on the inside, and that reflected on the way that I was acting, the way that I was putting myself in the world. And also, I had this belief in my mind that I'm not attractive for ladies. I'm not someone who is able to attract another girl. Okay, and that cost me a lot of chances. That cost me a lot of chances. I remember specifically there were girls that were trying to spoke to me, they were trying to know me, and I was like retreating from that because I thought, oh, this doesn't sound right. I don't believe she's not into me. She's like pretending to be, or she's just nice. Okay, later on I found out that these girls were nice, they were actually into me, but I had this belief in my mind that I'm not able to attract any kind of girl. I'm not able to be someone that is worth being attractive. So at a certain point in my life, around 2021, I was so frustrated with my inability to put myself out there, my inability to be able to attract girls, be able to not only attracting but also going out there to someone and show interest, be direct, be someone that is able to convey interest to girls, that I said, you know what, fuck it all. I'm going full into self-improvement. I'm going to become a better person, and when I will be a better person, I will have confidence and I will finally be able to attract ladies. This, of course, is absolute copium. This is 100% copium because I was refusing to address the issue that was my inability to date with another girl. Was just copium. Okay, all this sigma male grindset that says, oh, girls are really important, I will go all down to my goals. is just copium, man. There is no reason you should avoid girls while still pursuing your ambitions, while still pursuing your goals. It's freaking stupid. If you're doing this kind of reasoning, it's because you're actually afraid of intimacy. You're afraid to putting yourself out there. You're afraid to risk. Um, you're afraid to put yourself in the situation when you could be rejected. Okay, this is all copium. And at the time, I've gone down into copium because I started to go all in into my goals in judo and my competition. I was going all in into university. I want to have the better grades possible. I started to look all of these things that I would like to improve, and I left my relationship side on like into an angle in a room, pretending to not see that I wasn't developing that side of my life. And the fact is, despite how much I've improved myself, despite how much confidence I gained because I was reaching better goals, because I was improving as a man, I still had anxiety about dating and fear of rejection. We arrive at the 2025. In 2025, I had a period of extreme, wouldn't say extreme, but I have some financial problems in my family, so I started to work a lot. I need to work also. Some days I would wake up at 7, I would go out of my home at 7:30, and I would come back at 8:30, if 8:30 p.m. So I was out 12 to 13 hours a day, and I was working also 10 to 12 hours a day. It was very unreasonable for me to find time to get out and meet new people. It was very unreasonable for me to expose myself out there. Also because I saw that when you're out from education, when you're out of university, from school, it's very difficult to meet new people. It's very difficult to know new people when you're out from the university side. And so I decided to try Hinge, which is this dating app. And honestly, I wasn't really, I wanted to try it because I thought, well, I don't have that much time to go out there and meet new people. I don't have much time to go out there and cold approach, also because I was scared as shit to cold approach. So I thought, okay, this will bring me just 30 minutes of my time every day, maybe 20, okay? I can spend 20 minutes of my time. Dio cane. Sorry, I was interrupted by an argument with my mother, but what I was saying that I was working a lot in that time frame, and so I thought, okay, I can just send 5 messages a day. Can like put myself out there by sending 5 messages a day. It doesn't cost me that much, if not 15 to 20 minutes in the morning. So let's do it every day. And every day I had this habit of sending this. Hinge basically works like that. You have this profile of a girl that you see, and you can like send a message to her about something interesting that you see in her profile. So I spend a little time of thinking about something interesting to say, because usually guys on dating apps, they aren't really that much smart. Okay, if you spend a little bit more time and effort into writing something that might look interesting, you might have a better chance of response. So every day I was sending these 5 messages in the void and see what happens. I didn't expect to have a result right away. I need to be consistent with it for months and see if that will eventually happen. But even though I was conscious about it, even though I'm pretty disciplined with the kind of goals that I put on myself, I almost gave up, because you're sending all of these messages and it looks like you're talking to no one, right? Because you don't get any responses. Usually people on this app aren't really there to date, especially ladies. Most ladies aren't there to date, they are on the apps to gain messages and validation from other people. So you are wrestling with this, with the reality of the fact that they are not there to actually meet new people. They are there to feed their ego, right? So I almost gave up because I felt like, fuck, I'm doing this from 2 months. It's 2 months that I'm going on sending messages. I get some matches, but then they ghost me. I start to write, they don't reply back. It's very exhausting as because you get some kind of hope and then they ghost you. It's very frustrating as a thing. And one time in August, I matched with a girl in August of 2025. I started in around April, May of 2025 to use Hinge, and I matched with a girl. And we started chatting for longer than like 2 messages. And at a certain point, I asked her out, and I had very low expectation. I was like, what could really happen there? And I was nervous about the dating. I was nervous about how the stuff could actually go, but I tried to be relaxed and I tried to be as chill as possible. And I live in Italy, by the way. So in Italy, there is this period, of the year, which is between I believe 12 August, 13 August, something like that, when you can actually see more shooting stars. Okay, you see more shooting stars in the sky. So I asked her, hey, would you like to see shooting stars with me? And she was like, yeah, I would like a lot. I would like, yeah, it could be fun. And so we hang out. We were like laid down in this park where there was no one out there. We were laying down, we were looking at this shooting stars out there, and we got intimate in the park, okay? I wouldn't go into much details, but we went intimate in the park. And after 5 months, I actually gained a result out of a dating app. I slept with a girl that I met on there after 5 months of trying, while I was extremely anxious of approaching girls in real life. I was extremely anxious of even using Hinge. I remember that the first time that I used Hinge and I was sending messages, I was sending likes, I had anxiety. You can imagine that I had anxiety using a dating app. This is how much I was anxious about putting myself out there. It was how anxious I was of approaching, of showing interest towards another girl. And over time, of course, I exposed myself to the thing that was causing me anxiety, and my anxiety, of course, went down. It was a form of exposure therapy for me. After that episode, when with this girl, that, by the way, I saw her another time, and then I never see her again. She ghosted me absolutely, which it was unfortunate, but she wasn't my real soulmate. Okay, it was a hookup. It wasn't something really serious, but she ghosted me. And from that moment, I became much more confident into asking out more girls. I was able to cold approach even some ladies in the street. It's something I was scared as shit to doing. Now, I wouldn't say it's normal for me, but it's easier. It's easier for me to go to a girl and expose my interest to her. It's much more easier for me. I'm much more confident doing so. My anxiety is far lower because I've put myself into this exposure therapy thing. So I believe that dating apps are not inherently bad. I believe that if you're like me and if you're extremely anxious about dating, approaching, exposing your feelings to another human being, dating apps could be beneficial as a form to exposing yourself and admitting to yourself that you would like to date more, you would like to meet new girls, you would like to meet new people. And it could, I believe, if you do that religiously over time and if you don't get complacent by only relying on dating apps, you can reduce your anxiety to approach. And because this is what happened to me, all right? This happened to me. I was able to take more risks in the dating area of my life because I started with something small as downloading a dating app, putting up some decent photos, putting some effort in it, and expose myself, all right? And this is what I believe, this is my experience with dating apps as a 24-year-old man. And it also teaches you another important life lesson. It taught me a very important life lesson they already knew, but it was reinforced. The life lesson that this can teach you is that sometimes you're going to do shit and it will give you no result for extreme long period of time. It would be in your training, in your job, also in relationship. What happens is sometimes it's like throwing coins in the void. It's like throwing stuff that it's like rolling the Sisyphus rock uphill. It seemed like meaningless effort that will lead you to nowhere, and you do that for an extreme period of time, and suddenly, poof, there is something good that happens to you out of this result, and it looked like it's the thing that you're done in that moment, but actually it's all the work that you've done in the months prior to this moment. It's all the little steps that you took every day that compounded into this big thing. And I know this is corny, it's something obvious that you see a lot of line, but I can give you this experience. Sometimes it seems like that you're doing something and it has no meaning, but suddenly, poof, there is a proof of what you have done during the years, the months prior to the result. So if you're finding yourself into a situation when you're putting a lot of effort into something and you see absolutely no result, remember that this stuff compounds, and at a certain time you get everything all at once. You get everything that you've worked for, but you get it all the same time. It's not like you get a little bit in a linear way. In a linear way, you don't get it in a linear way. It's like nothing, nothing. Oh, extreme, beautiful result. It usually works like that, at least in my experience, and this is something that it taught me. So, this is my story. I hope that it was useful. Remember to aim upward, as always.